So we had paused briefly for drinks as we heard a strange roaring bellow come from the woodlands, and all of you heard it, but the closest is actually Sho. Who does what?
I will yell out and say, "To arms! A threat is upon us again!" And I'll start making my way out towards the bellow.
Okay. You wheel on your heel as you shout, and go striding towards the bellow. From the trees, a huge creature, easily towering over a man, comes out into the moonlight. It has a broad body with a long, elongated head that looks, in the shadows and the light, this moonlight, looks almost like a vulture's, although its beak is longer and curved in almost like a raptor's hook. It opens its mouth and its head's on this long neck, which opens up, and you hear that bellow again as its huge arms reach out. And its arms are elongated. And you can see that as they reach out, they don't end in hands, but these long, curved hooks. The thing stares at you with eyes filled with rage. And it bellows again, its throat just rippling. Meanwhile, not standing in front of whatever that is, Gohan and Machiko. Gohan, you're up by the storehouse. Machiko drops her tray, just drops it. Hot water, the teapot crashes to the ground the tea falls to the ground, and the the top of it pops open, and just leaves tea go scattering across the ground.
Gohan will sort of quickly hop out of the way, try to sort of dance around the drops of scalding water.
Okay. And run to the forest, turn around and run away.
Oh, no, yeah, whatever this creature is, Gohan's heading towards it.
Okay. So Gohan, you turn and head in that direction. Yua and Yukimaru. Your mother looks up and gasps. And she reaches up with her soot-covered hands and pulls her hair out of her face. And she looks up. And she says, "Suchan? What's got you so upset?"
I grab my naginata because that seems like the thing to do. Says, "What is this?"
Yukimaru is still seated, kind of getting out his tea implements, and hasn't even really had a chance to probably get a look at things, but just kind of tilts his head a bit to the side and Suchan, is this a one of your pets, mother?
She reaches out and swats your shoulder, just like she did when you were 3. "Don't talk about your father that way, young man." As Yua goes storming out to find out what on earth is going on.
She's not storming out. She grabs her naginata and she's like backing out, and she says to Yukimaru as she goes, "I'll check on it. Figure out what this is, please." And
of course.
And then she'll head towards the noise.
Okay. All right. Speaking of the noise, as we sweep back, Kakita show. Roll initiative.
All right. I'm gonna stare this sucker down and see how this goes.
All right.
We'll take the natural 20 for a 24.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably a that's probably a good place to start. It did not roll that well. It got an 18, which ordinarily would be a pretty good number. But all right. This is, although we have rolled for initiative. You are the first actor. What would you like to do?
Just curious, have we had a basically the equivalent of a short rest since our last bout?
I will. I was. Yes, mechanically, you have done so.
Okay.
Just to make things easier for all of us.
All right, with the start of initiative, I will go ahead and assume the stance of the heron. And as a free action, I will declare a challenge of steel.
It accepts your challenge.
Perfect.
Forgoing its saving throw. All right. So, just to walk through the mechanics, we will each select a number between 1 to 6. The character with the higher number takes the decisive posture. The character with the lower number takes the watchful posture. The character with the higher number is assigned danger dice equal to the number revealed by the character with the lower number. All right. So I have in my hand a dice. It chose a 4.
And I chose a 1.
All right. So the character with the higher number takes the decisive posture. You take the watchful posture, which means that you will act at your initiative. The character now has 1 danger dice. So I now have 1 danger dice on the whatever this thing is. Since I'm in the decisive stance, I can act at the start of the round instead of at his normal initiative. With that, making a clicking sound in the back of its throat that echoes across the night, it lunges forward, ripping at you with the great hooks in its hands. What is your armor class against a foe that you are fighting in a duel in the heron stance?
Normally it would be 17, but
Uh-huh.
it now increases up to 18 because of the heron stance.
Yeah. Okay. So I rolled a 5, because I rolled a total of 11, which should miss. And then I
It
rolled
does.
I rolled a 19, so it struck you.
Okay. With the right quick with the first miss,
Yep.
I will use the heron stance reaction
Ooh.
to have it suffer the marked for death condition, which means the next successful melee attack I deal against it will deal an additional 1d8 force damage. And that'll last for a minute or until my next successful attack, whichever comes first.
Okay. And I'm going to assume your next successful attack is going to happen real soon now.
That's what I'm hoping for.
All right. And do you have any reactions you can use to either being missed or to being hit?
No, that's the only reaction I have is to take
You
on
used your
that
reaction.
one.
You are
Yep.
correct. All right. Let's see here. You are hit for 11 points of piercing damage.
Ow.
So,
But a mere scratch.
It swings, you duck and move. Unfortunately, as you moved, you kind of twisted your ankle just a little bit. Not enough to be bad, but enough that you're like, more stance practice, perhaps. All right.
I'm not used to fighting things larger than me.
Larger than you in the dark.
Oh,
On
yeah.
uneven
That's true.
ground.
Do remember that silk armor has a bonus to, I believe, piercing damage.
Let's see.
I was not aware of that. Let me
pull it up real quick here.
pause for equipment lookup.
Hey, one of the things that they changed is they added a great deal of secondary effects.
Yes, silk armor reduces non-magical piercing damage they take by 3.
Mm-hmm.
Is
if you-
this piercing and non-magical?
It is both piercing and non-magical.
Oh, well then, I will take less damage.
Yeah,
Mhm.
take 8 instead of 11. Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. I had to do a little bit of math. For whatever reason, I was struggling on math on that one.
I understand. All right. And it is your turn.
Very well. I will then whip out the katana, wield it in
Mhm.
2 hands, and then just do a solid strike. Not doing any sort of technique with it. Just a basic attack action.
Okay. Which means that I believe you get 2 attacks. When you make an attack action, you get 2 attacks. And as a duelist, when you are using you are a blade master in the Heron stance. When you are wielding a weapon in 2 hands, you gain a bonus to damage rolls with that weapon equal to your wisdom modifier. If the weapon is versatile, you also inflict a critical hit on a roll of a 19 or a 20.
Yep,
So-
that's what it was.
You rolled a 19.
I rolled a 19. So we'll just go ahead
On
and
your
crit.
first, it's a crit. On your second attack, you roll.
This is where all my luck went.
Apparently. So, having rolled a 19 and a 20, a 26 and a 27 both will hit, in fact. On the first blow,
So the first blow, I will be dealing a total of 1d8 plus 7 because I am a duelist.
right, 1d10.
1d10 because it is a versatile weapon and I'm wielding it in 2 hands.
Yeah, and then you will roll an additional d10 because you scored a critical hit.
Yes,
So
and I will
2d10.
be dealing and an additional d8 because he was marked for death.
Correct.
So 2d10 plus a d8 plus a 7. So the first one will do 18 points of damage.
Okay.
The second roll does not have the d8 on it
Correct.
because he's already been marked for death. We'll take the 26.
A 9 and a 10 plus 7. I mean, that's gonna work out. Okay. You did not spend any of the danger dice.
I did not spend any danger dice.
You do a total of 44 points of damage. As it comes crashing towards you, you spin away from it, and strike quick and true, just like you were trained to. Your blade cuts through the thing, and it strikes some kind of hard carapace across its back. But that fact does not stop you from scoring heavily against it. The wounds you strike do not seem to bleed, except for some sort of blackish shadow that trails off into the dark.
Similar to the cat beasts we fought earlier this evening?
Very similar, in fact.
Okay.
All right.
As a quick note for my Heron stance, at the end of my turn, if I had dealt 10 or more damage to any one creature with a single attack, I would gain 2 additional focus points. If I
Okay.
dealt 20 or more with a single weapon attack, I gain 3 additional focus points instead. I'll end this round with 4 focus points.
Perfect. Well, so that all worked out for you. Actually, it's hard to imagine a better round.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Gohan, you are closing in on this situation. You see the two of them locked in mortal combat. What do you choose to do?
Every part of Gohan's being says that they are here to help and wants to intervene, but he's pretty sure that even if he helps and save his life, Sho would rather die than him do that. So he's gonna like in the same way that like holding like that thing when you balance a treat on a dog's nose and they just like vibrate with intensity to like that's him. He's like, oh, I wanna, but I'm not gonna.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I guess I will stand on the sidelines and give Goff good vibes.
Okay. Is there? Well, you might ask. You have the opportunity to take skill actions or do other things. Is there anything you would like to do?
Can I try and recognize as fellow spirits? Can I try and recognize what this thing is?
You can indeed. That would be a religion check. There, you might also have a spell or two that might be of use in this situation.
Ooh, yeah. God, would it be obvious if I cast haste on Show?
It would be. There, haste is one. Commune with nature is a possibility. Um, locate creature, perhaps, if you had a creature or a person you wanted to find. Yeah, commune with nature takes a little while. Takes a little time, but
Well, I think I'm going to spend this turn trying to figure out what this thing is and push myself more towards Yang. So,
okay.
6.
The dice are not with the players, except apparently for show, and only for attacks. Wow. Okay. Uh, you're not certain, unfortunately, but you push yourself towards Yang. Yua, you had also moved to engage. You see Gohan standing there. You see your cousin fighting with all of the grace and beauty of a Kakita duelist. What do you do?
Well, I don't want to interfere with the duel in progress because that's not cool, and I'm assuming here that he's giving gestures that this is a one-on-one kind of a conflict going on right now.
The two of them are very focused on one another.
Right. And while I would interfere with the duel in some circumstances, he doesn't look like he's suffering too badly right now. However, I am remembering what my mother said. And so I'm like trying to see if there's anything about this creature at all that reminds me or ties it to my father. Just like any part of its body, or if it has a piece of clothing, or just anything that could possibly link this creature to my father.
Anything? Okay. You look at it with a daughter's eye. And you hear the clicking sound coming from its throat. And you can remember your father sitting out with you one day out in the forest. And you can remember him making that sound as he skipped rocks and told you little silly stories. Not as loud, but it's the same sound. Kind of a click, kind of a clicking noise that he would make in his throat as he was thinking.
Okay.
That wasn't. That's not really a skill check. It's like
no, no. That's it. It's not much to go on though. I am.
So it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I was going to say, it's certainly the same sound.
Okay.
It's the sound you've heard your father make many a time.
Okay. I am off to the side of this conflict that's going on. Like, I'm not directly facing the creature, or I'm not
Mhm.
behind them.
Yeah.
I am going to shout his name and see if it catches the creature's attention at all. They're pretty focused, so it's not just like he's
Okay.
going to randomly look my way because I shouted.
Mhm.
But I'm going to shout his name and see if there's any change, and that will be my action.
Give me an intimidation check.
I'm not very intimidating. All right.
Oh, I'm intimidated.
I have no bonuses in it, but that's okay. See? Dice are terrible.
The dice are terrible this evening. However, you also had an inspiration. I would remind all of you that I
That's
gave you
true.
all an inspiration
Mm-hmm.
So try again.
Well, that could be used to gain advantage on any check.
on any check. Given the way the dice are rolling tonight, I'm not sure that'll help. But
A little more.
well, a 10.
The 10.
Yeah. Well, actually, 10 is enough. You actually see it glance your way just for a moment.
Okay.
An involuntary turn of its head away from its foe, which it will almost undoubtedly pay for horribly. Yukimaru, you're with your mother. And she is looking up fretfully.
And he takes the hit and in stride. Oh, mother, it's all right. You can't tease the old man after all this time. Although the way he's sounding, it's do you think you didn't get enough to eat tonight?
She looks at you. Look at you all grown up. Men have many hungers, not just for rice. And sometimes that leads them far away.
Well, first I'm too young. Now I'm too old. Mother, come on, now make up your mind.
She sort of sways there for a moment. And she starts crying.
At that, I'll go ahead and set down my tools and put them aside for the moment, and I'm gonna go over and embrace my mother and try to soothe her and hold her. And I'll just kind of ask, uh, oh, what's been going on in my absence?
She clings to you. This is the last night. He's going to leave us now. And you're going to have to do it. I'm so sorry.
Don't be. Tell me what you've seen. What have you witnessed in your garden?
He's going to leave, and the trees are going to die. And you're going to be here, and you're going to have to solve it all. I'm so sorry. I wanted it different for you. I hoped it wouldn't be this way.
Well, then let's stop the trees from dying. What can you do? Why do the trees die? What does Father do?
He leads them all away. He leads them all away, all of them. And they never come back. Because he's ashamed, and he should be! She pulls herself upright. Still has, tears on her face. He should be ashamed. Because you're a fine son. And you as a fine daughter. And I came here for him. Now he's going to go.
Let's see if we can't just convince him to stick around a little longer. And he's going to stand up from there and adjust and settle his hair and straighten out his kimono, and is going to stride out to go and join his sister and cousin.
Okay. Kiki to show. Back to the dancing blade part of the confrontation.
Time for a stare down.
Time for a stare down. I have in my hand a number.
I have my number.
All right.
4.
2.
Okay.
Okay. So you shift. Well, you were already going to. you already had beaten him in initiative, but you will now go first. You take 2 danger dice. It currently has 1.
Sounds good.
All right.
We're gonna go ahead and go in and use a Dawn's Grace Strike.
All right.
So this is one of my attacks. It's not my full attack action, so I'll get a second one after this.
Yep.
And I'm currently sitting on 5 focus points, 4 from last turn, and then the 1 generated at the start of this turn. So we're going to spend 2 of those.
Okay.
And so I'll just be doing a normal attack. So nothing special in this one, but I'll get some extra damage if I hit.
Excellent.
I will also be choosing not to use any of the danger dice.
Okay. So you will not use any of the danger dice on this first roll.
Correct. Well, a 7 will miss.
A 7 will miss. Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll just do a normal slash afterward.
Okay.
That will be. I did not add my bonus here. It should be +7, so that should be a 16.
All right. You slash as it is moving towards you, as the two of you begin to clash again. Your second attack just in its chest area and forces it to flinch back enough to cause it some harm. Let's see how heavy a hit that was.
Okay.
But you did hit.
All right. So that's another D10 plus 7. 13.
13. That is it. Your blade catches it across its chest as it is lashing out at you, and slices, leaving kind of a shadowy cut. Will a 25 hit you?
Oh, is it doing a reaction?
No, it just moves on to it's part of the.
So just to kind of finish off the rest of my turn, I will.
Did you have? I apologize.
Yeah,
I should
not
have
a
asked
problem.
if you had bonus or reactions. I'm sorry.
I'm going to do a quick step back, just 5 feet back, and I will then sheath my katana and just go into that classic stance of Aiajutsu.
Okay.
So because I dealt 10 or more damage, I will gain 2 additional focus points. So that will bring me up to 5 again.
Okay.
And when it comes to strike at me, I will lash out with my Aiajutsu Cut.
Okay.
It will be the Aiajutsu Cut Rising Blade, which is a reaction when they try to attack me.
Excellent. Alrighty.
So when it chooses me as a target, but before it rolls its attack dice, I can spin my reaction to draw my weapon and make a melee attack against the creature. And on a hit, it'll take damage. It'll take my weapon damage plus a d4 for every 5 feet it moved. I assume it's not really moving that far.
Nope.
But I will spend the danger dice on this one.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and roll that attack.
Hey, it's good to be you.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, everyone. I have taken all of your luck. So that's another nat 20.
That is, in fact, a natural 20. All right. That will, in fact, hit.
We are using a dice rolling bot, so I can't do anything about that.
No, man. It's all good.
All right.
I'm loving it.
I need to look up the specific wording of something here.
This is a good question. I assume the danger dice are not doubled here.
They are not. They are added to the damage roll, so they are not doubled.
Okay. Very good.
It's an oddity of the D20, the way that 5th edition works. Only dice that are doubled are the actual damage roll dice.
Right.
And how it is worded actually becomes very important, which is a little weird, but there you go. Okay.
Oh, and these danger dice are D6s, correct?
These danger dice are in fact D6s.
Okay. I don't have to reroll that.
Nope.
So that will be 14, goes up to 21 damage.
21 damage. All right.
Yep, that's that. Yeah, that's all the points there. That cost me 3 of my focus points.
Yep.
And because I'm using a slashing weapon, he must make his attack roll with disadvantage.
Well, hold on.
Oh.
Because if the opponent's hit points would be reduced to 0 by this attack, the character can choose one of the following. So mechanically, what we've done is we've had a little bit of danger dice. We haven't had a whole lot of transfer back and forth, but you've been rolling really well for your damage.
Yeah.
So this would take it over its hit points. You may choose a fatal blow. You may choose a non-lethal strike. Or you may choose a demonstration of superiority.
So everything in my mind is saying killing blow, just finish it off right here. However, the family is now watching.
Oh, go for it.
So because the family is watching, this is going to be a demonstration of superiority. I'm being very arrogant, and my hubris may be showing.
That's fair too.
So basically, what it looks like as it just rushes in, Show just unleashes the blade, brings it up, and it's a rising cut. So normally it would trail from belly to neck on a human, but here Show's got a little bit more ability to reach a little higher. So it definitely goes up and cuts through the shadowy mass, but just clearly stops right at the neck, and then pushes down the blade, turns it aside, and just holds a stance that just it looks really good reflecting in the moonlight. And it is specifically opposed to use at night.
Additionally, because you have defeated a monstrosity, and you had previously scored a critical hit in defense of your family, you may gain 1 piece of information about your foe.
Oh.
Remember, your blade, specifically your whetstone, has awakened, but we haven't quite had the opportunity to explore that.
I haven't really gotten a chance to talk about that.
But the effect that it gave is the ability to gain information from a defeated foe.
Ooh. Okay. So the piece of information I'm going to get is going to sound really strange, but I'm going to go with it. Is how defeated does it feel? Like, is what I'm looking for is basically, is it still in a point of rebelliousness and a point of hostility where if I let it go, it's going to try to attack someone, or is it cowed enough to back down?
It is pleased beyond measure.
That is not the answer I was expecting. Okay, that's weird.
That there is a warrior capable of defending the family.
Okay. At which point I will, just really confused, finish off with the rest of the kata, if you will, and go do the Chibari, wipe off whatever's left on the sword if there was nothing, and then do the sheath, and then turn to look at the rest of the family and say, "This is weird."
As he surrenders, in some fashion. I mean, I don't understand. I didn't hear that or anything like that.
Yeah, well, the thing.
Yeah,
the thing begins to back away. Its head down and its arms, its long hooked arms outspread, and the hooks, the points of the hooks turned away from you. So it's backing away.
It backs away. I'll turn to look at him, point at the ground, and say, "Stay."
So you takes a step forward. Well, before much of that happens, right at the very, very end of the duel, and says,
"Yeah,
Father."
I'll look over at it and say, "Really? Asatsune, is that you?"
And Gohan. You're up.
Since it appears to be trying to get away, can I entangle it to prevent it from retreating and avoiding our questions?
You can. Other options might include using the spell Locate Creature to locate Atsutune. But entangling it to keep it from backing away is certainly an awesome option.
You know what? Right now, let's do that.
You hit it with the entangle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Describe your effect. It is not resisting, so
Saying sort of a brief prayer to fellow spirits of the earth and ground, he sort of summons their assistance as roots kind of come up around the thing and almost like make a wicker cage around it.
okay. Did anybody know Gohan could do that?
No.
All right.
No,
Yukimaru.
but priests around the area have been known to do weird things.
So have non-priests apparently. So present company included.
Yukimaru. You are arriving on scene.
Walking up to this creature, I'm going to look it over deeply into its eyes, trying to see if there's any semblance of my father in this creature, and then provoking it to speak, or coming up to it and and what do you have to say for yourself?
Give me an insight on this one.
23.
Okay. Its head is bowed in shame. And it does not look up at your eyes. But looking at it, it does not look like your father. It looks like your dreams of your father being angry at you. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know how people look twisted and angry in their night when you dream of them being, filled with anger and hate and screaming. If you were to take that and turn it into a monster, it might not look too terribly different than this. Did that make sense as a description?
It does. It does. Yukimaru kind of realizing that, and kind of pulling together some other thoughts and things that have kind of been revealed to him tonight. Will lean in closer to it and be like, I am no longer a child. I do not fear you. Do not fear this thing before me. Those are a um, those are the reactions of a child. I am a man now. I will not suffer this sin, not for myself and not for my family. I will not suffer the same desires that have afflicted my father and those who came before me. And I will rule this family without any regrets. I cast out all of these sins before me.
It bends its strange shaped knees, and within its wicker prison, presses its beaked head to the ground. A shadow passes over the moon, perhaps a cloud. And as Lord Moon's gaze is turned away, the creature fades into the darkness from which it sprang.